Hello everyone, Desert Gold here. Thought I'd revisit a video that I did a little while back on CCW choices. The firearms in that video were my Glock 29 and my Glock 27. Very similar and very different in a lot of ways. Obviously the size, 29 taller, longer, wider, heavier. The Glock 27, a little more compact, obviously. Still packs quite a while up with the 40 Smith & Wesson. I did carry the 29 for the past year. I did switch off on and off with the 27. When I would carry this, you always knew you had this. I would carry it inside the waistband, and you always knew it was in your waistband, because it's just a hefty hunk of steel to be toting around. I would switch to the 27, and it was like, man, you didn't even know it was there sometimes. So while I was toying with these ideas and going back and forth, a third option came up due to some questions I had in my mind about calibers, which everybody seems to debate about. The 10mm, obviously, big boy on the block as far as high pressure round, 40 Smith & Wesson, not a whole lot far behind it. You had the 357 SIG in there, and you just have a myriad of choices. Well, the thing that started troubling me was the fact that you could have 10 rounds in a weapon like this, or like the 27, and if you miss with 10 rounds, it doesn't matter how much velocity these bullets are flying out at, or what kind of foot-pounds of energy they hit with. If you're not hitting the target, you're not hitting the target. The bullets are just making noise and going where they want to go. So, my question was getting shots on target. And if you've watched any of my other videos, the direction I always seem to go in is how much velocity and how much in the way of foot-pounds of energy can I get out of my reloads. And I was getting to the point where I could get 200 grain 10 mils going almost 1,200 feet per second. 1,400, 1,300 feet per second on some of my 180s in the 40 Smith & Wesson. My problem with that is muzzle flip. You get these smaller handguns with that kind of power behind them, and for me anyway, I was getting muzzle flip, and you throw that in with the tension and the stress that you would have in a self-defense situation. You're just multiplying any kind of gun handling beyond what you would expect. As you've seen in my videos, you'll notice I have hand tremors, so it's nothing I can do anything about. I deal with it. I don't use it as an excuse. I try to just overcome it. My problem is that if you were to start with that issue, throw muzzle flip in, stir in a little bit of tension and stress from a confrontation, to me anyway, probably the safest place to be if I pull a gun in that kind of a situation would probably be right in front of me. Just probably kidding, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. Shots on target are going to be few and far between. So I decided to add a new choice to the group, and that is the Glock 19C. Now, just before we go any further, let everybody know these things have been checked and unloaded. Nothing in. All the magazines have been removed. Alright. So, you have a new option to look at. And you'll find that there's a lot of people that are real happy with carrying the Glock 19. I chose the 19C, and that is, of course, the ported barrel version of the 19. And a lot of people will say, well, you know, you don't want to use that as a self-defense weapon. That's meant for target shooting, because the blowback from the gases will either blind you or they'll get in your face, and you can't do close to the chest shooting, yada yada yada. I even had the guy that was selling me the gun trying to talk me out of it for self-defense purposes. So I took his advice and went ahead and bought it anyway. No, just kidding. I ignored him basically and bought the weapon. And it has worked out well. The following video, you'll see I take all three weapons out, use factory loads, 5-shot testing on each at 15 yards. You'll see the muzzle flip on both the 27 and the 29. You'll see very little, if any, on the 19C. At one point in the video, I do a demonstration where I put the gun right below me at chest level and fire 3 rounds. No issues whatsoever with muzzle blowback or any kind of gases in my face. It was negligible to undetectable, so a non-issue. I have the target from the bay, and while it's vastly unscientific, most of your 9s are going to be in the center. I have a tendency to pull on the heavier caliber off to the left. It's a lot of trigger problems I'm having. Also, there'll be a lot of rounds going down below on the heavier calibers, flinching or anticipation of recoil. I had some larger caliber hits. Again, overcompensation there. I was up high. But as far as the 9, you can see the majority, for the first time I ever shot this gun, stock out of the box. I'm very pleased with the results at a distance further than obviously a self-defense scenario in most cases would occur. So with that being said, I came home and ordered some excess big dot sights, which I've subsequently installed. Put an extended slide lock release on it. Frog lubed all 3 of the guns. I'm another one tossing my hat in the ring. That stuff is wonderful. You ought to look into it. It's great stuff. So check out the video, see what you think of recoil, flip, and shots on target, why I'm seriously considering switching this to, and I will be carrying this now. An aside to all of that, this thing with a full clip in it, holding more rounds, it's even lighter than the 27 and almost undetectable in my belt. Now, what you are giving up on the 19 is obviously some of the concealability and the longer grip on it, longer mag well. Other than that, you can see it's the same basic length as the 29. 27 obviously coming in shorter than that. I would give up the inches or size for any day for shots on target. That is just the bottom line. Also, obviously narrower than the 29. So with what you lose on the height of the weapon, you're picking up on the width. Wonderful weapon to carry. Full clip, you never even know it's there. So hope the video brings some of that out. Maybe you might be swayed into making a journey to look into the possibility of maybe carrying a 19 yourself. And at the end of the video, I did get my M1 Garand out, first time on a live fire with it, and wasn't anticipating trying to sight in anything. I was hoping that everything would function and I would just basically see that the weapon worked, and if I had any time I would see if I could get it sighted in a little bit. I did not have a sighting or a scope, and the sight on it had never been adjusted since I had it put on, and not too bad. I'm really happy with this. This was at 100 yards. What happened when I first fired the weapon, the windage was way off, as you can see. Once I realized that it was off, I just adjusted it a little bit and we started getting center hits. Really, really happy at 100 yards for the first time out on the rifle. So, hope you enjoy the video and see how it goes. Talk to you later. Desert Gold out. Hey everyone, Desert Gold here. Yesterday on my M1 video, I introduced my new acquisition, my Glock 19C compensated 9mm. I thought I'd bring it out today and put it up against my other CCW choices. I have the Glock 27 and 40 Smith & Wesson, and obviously my Glock 29 and 10mm. So we have the Glock 29, Glock 27, and we have the Glock 19C. Today we're just going to test some of the concealability issues, shots on target, rapid fire, but say double tap or 3 or 4 shots in a row, and see if they actually make it to the intended area. First up, the snappy little 27. A lot of muzzle flip on that. We will do the Glock 19. Okay, let's do, Glock 29, 10. Again, belt recoil substantial. Now the Glock 19 compensated. Alright, let's see if we can get a shooter's view of recoil on muzzle clip on DD7. C. This was a test to see if muzzle low pressure.